If there was one thing I could praise the Trail series for in every single one of their games, it has to be their soundtrack. Like, how can they release banger after banger just like that? So today, I will be talking about some notable tracks I really like. One for each of the major arcs aside from Daybreak, because I haven't gotten to those just yet. Heck, I haven't even finished Reverie, but I think that's besides the point. My very first choice for the Sky Trilogy has to be Sophisticated Fight for a couple of reasons, and one of those has to do with the Evo version of this track. And yes, I will be talking about the Evo version for this track and the next one for Crossbell. As far as battle themes go, this one does its job of building adrenaline and raising the stakes. But I think that this track also excels at another thing, psyching you up to actually play the game. The theme is very light and lively, and you have the drums and percussion to thank for that. It sort of gives you the energy to start your grand adventure. This reflects the start of your/Estelle and Joshua's adventure. There are no gods in need of slaying, just humble beginnings. And here is a demo of what that sounds like. Moving on to the Evo version of the track, nothing much actually changes, which to me was the right direction to take when redoing this song. You'll hear the saxophone take a more prominent role in the song, but if you look back to the original, it was always there, just working to accent the main melody, which was played on a keyboard. If you ask me personally, I still prefer the original take on this song, but I will give points to this version which has a much cleaner mix, if anybody cared about that in the first place. And this is what that sounds like in contrast to the original. For the Crossbell duology, there were so many choices to pick from since there are so many iconic tracks, but in the end, I think the pick became very obvious to me. The track that you will listen to for hours on end, whether you like it or not, and is basically Crossbell itself. On the Falcom music channel, it's called Scene of a Street Corner, but I think I'll just call it the city theme for simplicity's sake. There are a few occasions where it doesn't happen, but whenever you return from exploration, this theme will always greet you whenever you enter the city. Exploring alleys or doing side quests for random NPCs, this will always be playing in the background. And I don't know about all of you, but I never find myself bored whenever I listen to this track, and even find myself whistling it while doing other things during the day. Talking about the Evo version of this track excites me because I actually much prefer this version of the theme over the original. Giving the main melody to a saxophone has to be one of the decisions of all time. Of course, that is not the only reason I prefer this over the original. The new additions to the track also make it more interesting to listen to. And since I forgot to play the original theme, here is the original. And here is the Evo version. For the Cold Steel arc, there was one song that struck me when I first wanted and had the idea for this video. As a piano player, I just had to include a piano-only track into this video, and there was one that I immediately thought of. When I first heard this, I said, oh okay, this is the track I'll definitely have to talk about, and by extension, nerd out on. I will not try to get into too many technical details so the majority of the people watching this can still understand what I'm talking about, but for those who haven't guessed, it's the night sky on that day from the first Cold Steel game. Just from the title itself, it gives you a clear picture of what it might sound like. Calm but almost melancholic. For those who have played the game, which hopefully you have since you did click on this video and know where this song is exactly from, I think it's easy for you to picture. It is very appropriate considering that this plays when two characters are looking at the stars at night. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, but listening to this song always reminds me of two Zanarkand from Final Fantasy, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's more so the feel than the actual sound, but they still do share some similarities in that regard. They both use their time signatures in a similar way. Both songs are in 3/4, that is usually found in songs you can waltz to. Because of this, the song sounds very smooth and has this natural flow to it. Oh, and just a little side note, while I was working on this video, I happened to come across the Hollow Knight title theme, which is actually more similar to this track than to Samarkand is, because they actually share the same key in E flat major. So I just wanted to put it out there since it was very interesting that a lot of songs actually follow the same formula where in its 3/4, but then it's not a waltz feel, it's more smooth and flowy. And of course, this is what the night sky on that day sounds like. And for those interested, or for those who just haven't heard, or are not familiar with Hollow Knight, like myself, this is the Hollow Knight theme. Whew! I finally did it and pulled the trigger to make this long-time project of mine possible. And considering me as like a music nerd, I'm definitely gonna do this again. I just don't know when that will come out, but hopefully very very soon. And if there's anything else you'd like me to make, then I'll be sure to try and get it out as soon as possible. But in any case, that is all from me, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you all.